Hello everyone, Assalamu
Is it you?
alaikum. My name is Hijab Akbar Kwali and I am a student of Rehan School, Kurungi campus. Today's we have the guest, Professor Leif Advenzen, an eminent figure in the realm of IC with a pioneering career spanning several decades. Professor Advenzen has left an indelible mark on the field. He served as the world first director of IC, held prestigious positions at Lund University and Polytechnic University and received numerous accolades. So, including the Brain of the Year Award and the Thought Leader Award by European Commission, Intel, and the Peter Drucker Association. His extensive knowledge and contribution to IC have been widely recognized, making him a thought leader to an innovator in the global knowledge management community. So today's we delve into his remarkable journey, insights, and future aspiration. So let's begin the this enlightening conversation. So hello, sir. How are you?
Very well, and I'm very honored and happy to be in your pioneering show. It's so pioneering that we are still struggling with the technology to get it going, but I think you are on a good track, and I was so impressed with your packaging of what you are doing on the net.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So, sir, my question is that who is Professional Leaf Advenson and what is his significance in the field of IC?
I see is about what you probably are going to appreciate when you say aha. But before you reach the aha, you have to see. And that see is opening your eyes. And then when you see what you see, then you might even swallow. And then you say, aha, that's the way it is. And that is actually to understand that there are something else than financial capital in the world. And the financial capital has dominated for hundreds of years now. And it's time to realize that we have a lot of what you in Pakistan call spiritual capital. And that spiritual capital is the soft, intangible dimensions of appreciation of interrelationship between human beings.
Okay, sir, thanks for answer. So my next question: when did Professor Leif Advenson become the world's first director of IC?
I became the first director of intellectual capital in 1991 in a Swedish financial group called Skandia. And since then, we have been working on prototyping that both within Skandia and outside Skandia, both in Sweden and outside Sweden, and in Hong Kong, among others, as well as in Japan and other places around the world. But Pakistan has so far been outside the territory of prototyping. So I'm very happy that you are picking up on this together with Rian and Rian School. And perhaps you can become prototypers of intellectual capital in Pakistan.
Okay, sir, thanks for answer. So my next question: which universities has Professor Leif Advenson been associated with, and what role did he hold there?
Well, I'm connected to a number of different universities, and I started at Lund University in Sweden, um, and then I got a scholarship to be a student at Berkeley in California, and then I got a professorship in Hong Kong with Polytechnic University. But the point is actually same for you. Actually, where do you find the most intriguing structural capital for your leverage? And this goes back to the theory of intellectual capital, which you can read about in my book, which is called Corporate Longitude. Because you have human capital, but you also have something that is left when the human capital go home in the evening. And that is called structural capital. And that has also two major components. One is relationship capital, and the other one is organizational capital. So if you take some of the modern enterprises, they have a lot of structure and very few people, and most of it is in the net. And that has a value implication, value potential, but it's not in the accounting book. So therefore, the accounting books are showing roughly 5 to 20% of the real value. And that is from the old way of seeing it, it's hidden reserves in the economy. And then when people say that we are at a recession or it's not going so well, usually they only look at the 20%, not the 80%.
Amazing, and thanks for answer. So my next question: what was the Scandia Future Center, and why was it sufficient for organizational design?
It was a laboratory for organizational design because we wanted to learn about what we didn't know. And that subject of not knowing needed people with a kind of courage and braveness to go into the not knowing. Have you been in the not knowing? Have you been in the future? Are you willing to go to the future? Or are you afraid of going into the future? Most people are afraid of going into the future. So therefore we saw that it's not only giving you a map of how to walk, we need to give you the other instruments for taking the courage and cultivate your way into the future. And that called and asked us for developing the Future Center, Scandia Future Center. And today there are about 50 of them in Japan working on the subject for Japan and Japan Innovation Network. And it's also the same going on in other countries around the world.
Okay, sir. Thanks for answer. So, tell me more about the brain of the year. Award Professor Leif Edvensen received in 1998.
I was very, very honored, and most of all, I was surprised. Um, and when I told that to some people, they pointed me a finger and said, You of all people? And that was, of course, a very interesting reaction. Um, but the other ones who have got this award, um, among others, Steve Hawkins, he was working on the black holes, and I think we are still not knowing so much about the black holes, but he was a pioneer. I think I'm very honored and grateful to have been acknowledged with a similar award as he. And actually, I got the same award as he got twice. Once in the Brain of the Year, but also in the award by the European Commission at the university in Dublin. Nowadays, I think we need to have a number of pioneers that we encourage to go into the future. And it's so interesting to think about the difference of your brain, my brain, other people's brain, and which one is best, which one is up to speed. I think your brain is much more up to speed than mine. But we can talk about that in your next question.
Okay, sir. Thanks for answer. So my next question: can you list some of the books and articles authored by Professor Leif Edvensen?
You can find it on internet. It's probably somewhere around 50 or even more. So, if we limit it to one book, I would like you to have a look at Corporate Longitude, because you have altitude and you have the latitude, and the longitude is the third dimension. And that third dimension is extremely interesting to look into.
Okay, sir, thanks for answer. So my next question: how has Professor Leif Edvensen been recognized globally for his work in IC?
It has been recognized in many different ways by articles, books, TV programs. Actually, on a more personal note, I had to have two secretaries um, to respond to all the incoming inquiries. But now I'm retired, so now I'm coming in on internet, and I'm very grateful for Ian to arrange this together with you. And the next step is probably that we are combining the responses from this interview in some kind of smart format together with ChatGPT or other artificial intelligence. So I look forward to do that. And on the way there, it would be very, very interesting to see what we have seen today and in other interviews, the combination of male and female questions.
Okay, sir, amazing. So my next question: what is the new club of Paris, and what role did Professor Leif Edvensen play in it?
The New Club of Paris was an initiative that I took together with two or three other colleagues on how to work on the society development of tomorrow, because we could see that most of the work was about maintenance of yesterday instead of prototyping tomorrow. So it's a kind of framework, like a future center for society development. And it's still going on, and we have an active group of people working there. The most recent work has been in Lindau this week in Germany, and more to come. And I think you are most welcome. Go up on the net and send a note to New Club of Paris that you are interested to participate in some of the prototyping. It could be writing, it could be reading, it could be linking up, and it could also be to build bridges, because the whole purpose of it is actually to reduce the fear of going into tomorrow and thereby avoid war and give peace and harmony to the future.
Okay, sir, thanks for answer. So my next question: what is the Thought Leader Award, and why was Professor Leif Edvensen awarded it in 2013?
It's a wonderful question. And it's not a question for me, it's probably a question for the jury. And it's about the thought leadership. But I would like to add my reading of it, that we need to honor not those who are just producing good curriculums and scores in schools. We have to honor and reward those who are thought leaders of tomorrow. And we can see that today we have probably too few thought leaders. And you can start to make a list of the top 10 thought leaders you have in Pakistan or in Karachi, and compare that with similar roles in other cities and world around the world. And then you take the initiative to connect them through this channel that you have so beautifully developed. Continue with that and connect the brains. Steve Jobs said, connect the dots. I say you should connect the brains.
Okay, sir, thanks for answer. So my next question, what is Professor Leaf Advanced's connection to the Japan Innovation Network? Um, Japan Innovation Network. Yes.
Yeah, GIN. It. I was working together with Professor Nonaka and Noboru Kono in Japan, and we started to develop the new maps for the future of the Japanese economy, and that is still going on. It has a long standing since decades, and I think they are in Japan pioneers in what they call soft economics. Today it's also called intangibles. And just a couple of weeks ago, there was a big conference in China on the knowledge management of tacit knowledge. And that was the first one in the world. It had about 2 million viewers online with a curiosity for the subject. And I was happy to be online with them. And I think next time you will be there as well.
Okay, sir, thanks for answer. So my next question, what is the advisory board of Norway Open Innovation Forum, and when was Professional Leaf Advansen appointed to it?
Yeah, I was appointed to this Open Innovation Lab of Norway some years back, and it same kind of reason as I touched upon earlier, that a lot of nations have statistical work and institutions for traditional research, but very few have the work on developing the map of tomorrow. They are very much extending the work, and this is what UNESCO has started to realize. So therefore, they have had a special program on anticipation of tomorrow. And this anticipation is the same process as a future center. What are the signals that you can pick up today for a better future? And I can give you a very clear example. You are probably going to take some pills or get some vaccination against diseases, but is that the treatment of tomorrow? Could it be that the electronic society and the digital society could give you digital signals into your body instead of chemicals? And if that will take place, the whole chemical industry, it's called big pharma, is going to be challenged by the internet society or the AI society, which you already can see to some extent. But it's actually a transition from tangible assets to electrons or tacit knowledge.
Okay, sir, thanks for answer. So my next question, where and when did Professor Leif Edvardsen receive the KM award, and what is its significance?
What is, please repeat.
Okay, so where and when did Professor Leif Edvardsen receive the KM award, and what is its significance?
I am probably not really understanding your question, so I think we jump that one and go to the next.
Okay, no problem. So next question, can you tell me about Professor Leif Edvardsen's recent publication, World Class Cooking for report gaming, sociality innovation?
It's a beautiful title about world-class cooking, and it goes in line with my personal interest for good food. And therefore, Professor Unica in France and I started to write on what can we learn from the big chefs in France And behind that was a story that the world chef um, from France, he was slightly annoyed and not very happy with that the best chefs used to be French, but then suddenly they were outcompeted by good cooking professionals and chefs from Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. And not France was not coming in on the score until number 4 or 5. So what could be done? And then we realized that it's the same today, actually, that um, how do we develop the skill of being a good um, chef of regions? So if you take the region of Pakistan and look into the knowledge opportunities for that. So what is it the difference of Karachi and, for example, Istanbul and Marseille in France? Which one has the best opportunities, and why is it a difference? And how could you develop or reduce the gap so that all people can leverage the knowledge in the same way? And we can probably do a lot on this, and that's why we called it knowledge recipes. We said that we can develop a whole theory on it, and we did, and you can read about it in the book. And we can develop also much more interesting solutions down the road together.
Okay, sir, thanks for answer. So my next question, how has Professor Leif Edvensen contributed to the global knowledge management community?
I was one of the pioneers to start it, and then I have learned when I was a student in Berkeley, California, don't lock the knowledge up. Let it flow, share it, develop the ways to have it to flow. And that's what we did. And it's still going on. And as I said, there was a knowledge conference the last few days in Lindau in Germany. And a couple of weeks ago, it was online with Davos. And soon it will be in other places. But the point is actually to develop the bridging points between people and brains. And as I also tend to say, um, the old way of connecting dots can be replaced by connecting brains. If Steve Jobs was saying connect the dots, which was a brilliant statement, now we can connect the brains.
Okay, sir, thanks for answer. So my second last question, what is the future direction of Professor Leif Edvensen's work and contributions in the field?
Well, a number of dimensions in the metrics, in the relationships, in the publications, in the development of curriculums, in development of awards, in a number of illustration. This program is a case in itself. You're sitting here interviewing me, uh, and I'm very happy to share with you. So let's continue with that.
Okay, so my next question, how can individuals and organizations learn from Professor Leif Edvensen's experiences and insights in intellectual capital?
You can do that by going up on the internet. As I said, the most recent event a couple of weeks ago in Davos was followed by roughly 2 million participants. And you can initiate a similar approach from Pakistan on the subject of connecting brains for the future. So I look forward to participate that, help you with that, and look forward to see what we can do together with Rian on this. And Rian School of Management could be a hub for such knowledge sharing, at least in Pakistan, perhaps in the larger region around Pakistan.
Okay, sir, thank you so much. And also, I invite you my school when you come in Pakistan. So please visit my school, Rehan School, Krongi campus, and meet me and meet our students.
I'm happy to come,
Okay, so we yes,
I'm happy to come, and you can, under the umbrella of internet, send out invitations for people to share knowledge with you, me, and Rian, and the Rian School of Management. And you can operate that under the umbrella of Happy Future.
yes. Okay, viewers, I am Hijab Afar Kwali and my guests are Leif Advenzen. So I hope that you some learned our interview. So sir, thank you so much for giving me valuable time and share the insightful knowledge.
My pleasure.
Okay, okay sir, bye bye.
Bye bye.